The Grim Reaper, Charon, Anubis, Hermes, and the Valkyrie are all known to have guided souls into the afterlife. But have you ever heard of Papa Legba? Chances are you haven't heard of him directly, but his influence has been seen by most people in the United States today. And that is why I'm going to conduct a discussion about the Iwa known as Papa Legba. For starters, Esteban Legba is an Iwa. So you can think of a Iwa as basically being a spirit in the voodoo religion. Pretty much they act as like the angels or the patron saints of traditional European Christianity. And they kind of act as a go-in between humans and God. Like many deities, Esteban Legba is known by different names and has different appearances depending on where the person describing them is from. In African cultures, he is depicted as being a young black male that's in his prime, so about 25 to 30, young, buff. And in Haitian cultures, they typically describe him as being a frail, older man with a straw hat, cane, a wooden pipe, and he always has a dog accompany him. And it is in Haiti that he's primarily known as Papa Legba. The National Park Service is one of the leading sources in the United States for collecting and storing information of various cultures and customs. I mean, think about it. Every national park has its own unique geography, which all had at one point in time different groups of people living there. And according to their website, nps.gov, Papa Legba is known as the guardian of the crossroads and the gatekeeper to both heaven and hell. He is also known to be a spirit of communication and guidance, and both to the afterlife and over obstacles in general. So he can help you get to your afterlife, or he can help you overcome whatever problem it is that you're facing in general. He's also said to be kind of a mediator between humans and God, and also humans and other Iwa. In the voodoo religion, it is said that to contact any Iwa, you must go through Papa Legba first. And according to Cultural Encounters and Discourses of Scholarship, Volume 2, practitioners would communicate with him daily and ask him, quote, avoir barrière pour moi passer. I know my French isn't the best, but roughly that translates into remove the barrier so that I may pass. And they would also ask pretty much to manifest any other Iwa that they were trying to get into contact with. And that source is actually a collection of research conducted by various graduate schools, including Rostock University. Some interpretations of Papa Legba is that he is a trickster. So for those of you who like Marvel, think of him as basically Loki. Some practitioners mention that they make it a point to be as specific as possible when making a request of Papa Legba, as when it comes to vague requests, they might not be answered quite in the way that you were thinking. And I have a small little anecdote about that. I have a friend who ran track in high school. And for the longest time, he would hope and pray that he would go to the state championships. He was trying to get a scholarship, and he had that kind of talent. The season went on, he did great, and he was actually projected to be a winner in state. And so the time had come, he's getting ready to run his race, he's focused. The gun goes off and he books it. So he's going good. Like everything is looking like it's going his way. He is soaring. At the very last second, one of the other competitors come in, swoops in for the victory. So my friend ended up coming in second place. So of course, after going through all of that, one would be quite devastated. So after talking with him about it, he had told me that like he had prayed so long and so hard for him to make it to state that he never actually prayed to win, to get first place. And so that's pretty much in a way that Papa Legba is said to operate. He'll give you what you ask for, but maybe not what you think you're asking for. When working with him or making a request, it's often customary to bring him gifts in exchange for his help. This premise also plays into how he's viewed in pop culture. Many people who have watched American Horror Story Coven, the third season, where they introduce a very skewed version of Papa Legba. As you can see in this image, he looks nothing like those other depictions that I mentioned to you. Also, they said that the only way for him to grant your desires was by sacrificing the soul of children. Another reference that frequently appears in pop culture is a more subtle one. Over the years, people attribute the fame and success attained by musicians as them selling their souls to the devil by joining the Illuminati. This myth can be traced back to a musician, Robert Johnson. In the 1930s, Robert released a song titled Crossroad Blues where he described going onto a crossroads and asking a deity for help. He eventually recorded a song called Hellhound on My Trail, which detailed him being chased by a hellhound. Sadly, he mysteriously died at the age of 27, according to a 2019 article in the New York Times. His success, subsequent death, and subject matter / song titles led many to suspect the death was due to the devil coming back for his soul. This relates back to Papa Legba because he's the one who's said to be the guardians of the crossroads, and he typically has a dog that accompanies him. Over the years, other artists have taken this tale as inspiration behind some of their songs and referred to it as making a deal with the devil. But the crazy thing is, in Robert Johnson's song, he never asked the devil for help. He literally asked God for help. So they're just trying to paint Papa Legba as being a malevolent spirit, but really and truly, you can offer him candy, snacks, alcohol, tobacco. It doesn't necessarily have to be a soul to get help from him. All of this information merely scratches the surface of who Papa Legba is and what he does. But what you should take away from it is that he is an Iwa who governs communication and guidance. He can be helpful, but you have to be specific in what you're asking for and to bring him an offering. He isn't malevolent, contrary to popular belief, although pop culture will have you think otherwise. So I'll leave you with this. Be nice to any man you see sitting at a crossroads, because he could be the reason you end up in hell or the reason that you overcome your next obstacle.